I have an article here from Forbes.com. Japanese fans are puzzled that Yasuke is in Assassin's Creed Shadows. The new trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows is dropped, and this time it's set in feudal Japan. But some Japanese gamers are puzzled that it includes Yasuke. Yasuke was an actual historical figure that lived in Japan during the 16th century and was most likely of African origin. He would have also been around during the time period that this game is set. However, almost nothing is really known about Yasuke, which in part means he's a great narrative blank slate to work with, but that also isn't without its pitfalls. See, gamers have been waiting for Assassin's Creed to come to Japan for years now. It's the land of ninjas, the epitome of stealth, so it's always been a perfect fit for a gaming series built around stealthy assassinations and an interesting historical context. There's a tweet here from at Manga Lawyer. Let's see how well received the latest stunning and brave Assassin's Creed Shadows is in Japan. I'm sure things are going to be fun. Oh my god. Here's a guy complaining about a game where black people massacre Japanese people in the Sengoku period, a perfect example of UBI. Is this what happens when political correctness is taken to the extreme? There's another one. The sword is in the wrong position. It's no good to have it open at your side. I wanted Yasuke to appear as an ally. Are they mocking Japan? They should have made someone like Saizo Kirigakuru an assassin. Here's another one. It's a bit disappointing. I wanted to play as a Japanese ninja. It's my favorite game since I started with Syndicate and I've played everything, so this is sad. Now, one of the protagonists in Shadows is indeed a ninja from Aiga. It's a very famous and important region in Japan, and in many ways is the birthplace of the ninja. I actually used to live in Maiken, and going to Ino Castle was a lot of fun. Not least because you had all these great exhibitions about the history of the ninja. So Iga is a big part of what the ninjas are in Japan. It's a female ninja, basically. But anyway, why Ubisoft didn't just stop with making Shadows about ninjas in a series where you were meant to be stealthily assassinate people is somewhat beyond me. However, the issues start with the fact that the other protagonist is Yasuke, and he's now a samurai. Yasuke has been portrayed in a bunch of different ways over the years in anime such as Afro Samurai and the more recent Yasuke on Netflix. In these works, it was clear that this was meant as an entirely fictional what-if scenario, and they were all great. Afro Samurai, okay, the Yasuke, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Having Yasuke depicted as a cool samurai was entirely fine, as it was clear there was a great deal of artistic license involved. The issue here, and one that Japanese gamers are pointing out in the trailer for the game and elsewhere online, shown above and below, is that Assassin's Creed is a series about retaining a degree of fidelity to historical events. That in other games in the series, people of that locale and period were consistent with history and their varying host cultures. And one Japanese user says, for the first time, I understood what cultural appropriation was. And then others, and I'll link this in the description box if you want to check this stuff out for yourself. But a lot of people aren't happy about it. A lot of Japanese people. It's one thing, that you can dismiss. Oh, it's a bunch of white people that are unhappy about it. They're racist. They're xenophobic. They're this. They're whatever. But when a bunch of Japanese people are complaining about, what are you going to do then? I mean, I guess that's when you'll sit there and say that they're white supremacist adjacent or some other Tariq Nasheed style bullshit or something. Anyway, so changing it here is odd, not in keeping with the other Assassin's Creed game, which is what Japanese fans are mostly pointing out online. In addition, a massive edit war has erupted over on Wikipedia about Yasuke himself, which isn't exactly helpful either. It also shows that it's clearly a contentious issue and one that people aren't happy about in terms of history being rewritten. Then personally, I'm not all that bothered by all this, but I get why it's confusing people, especially in Japan. Again, I don't know why Ubisoft just didn't focus on making the game about ninjas. They could have avoided all this nonsense. I will likely play the game when it comes out this November, but for now, gamers in Japan are mostly puzzled by all this. I won't be playing it. The stuff with Yasuke, that's like the cherry on the shit sundae or something. But one of the main reasons I won't play is because Ubisoft games, man, I used to really get into Ubisoft games because they used to make a lot of really cool open worlds and stuff. Now they're just so cookie cutter. There's 100 million things to do. As soon as you open the map, 100 icons pop up on the screen immediately. It's just plus also the whole they're wanting to sell DLC for single player stuff and experience boost tokens or whatever the hell they call them and shit. It's like, no, screw all that stuff. That's ridiculous. I don't want anything to do with any of that crap. The stuff, like I said, the stuff with Yasuke, I don't know if I could get around it or not because I can't muster up any energy to care about Assassin's Creed games because the last couple have been somewhat interesting, I guess, or whatever. But it is kind of just the same old stuff over and over again. So if you're not into the story, and Assassin's Creed to me always had kind of interesting story in the sense that it just never made much sense. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but like I said, I'll link this in the description box. You can see it for yourself or read it for yourself. Check out the trailer, the quotes from the Japanese people and stuff and everything. How unhappy they are. The stuff about the Wikipedia entries because they've been editing it and then they locked it down. They don't want people to change it back to what it really is, in which Yasuke was not a samurai. He was a retainer. He was treated like a slave. I mean, according to some people, because it is true that we don't know a whole heck of a lot about him. But some people say it's what happened to him was just out and out racism. I don't know, but anyway, it's neither here nor there. Anyway, like I said, I'll link this in the description box. If you want to read it for yourself, thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.